Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome to another stream, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Fire Slayer event, Neon City. I forget, Neon City something. So just saying hi to everybody. Welcome to the stream here, and thanks for joining me here. Let's take a look at the name first. I just forgot it. A Neon City Showdown. So there's a few talking points I wanted to go over today, and first I wanted to show you this. Check this out. So my brother-in-law got this for me. I'm pretty stoked about this shirt. I'm not sure if you can see this. Make sure you see that. Yep. So yeah, I got my very own T-shirt there. So I wanted to show it off here for y'all, and also just wanted to say quick thanks to everybody who's given me lots of feedback and a lot of questions, and also just reminder for the next upcoming stream where we're gonna do the deck building. I did have the names of people I couldn't get to last time. You're gonna be next. And just saying hi to everybody in the stream here. So we've got quite a few people already. We got Belly, DBils, and sorry that you couldn't follow the stream. I'm definitely going to be talking about what I think about this particular deck, and also just this event in general. And we've got Robert and Judge of All, your wise cousin Joe, Tamara, and also Catherine, Dwayne, Paul Hicks, and Be Like Billy, BBX, as well as I got quite a few people here, and we got me, myself, and 1100, Ethan Sayer, Gary, Debbie Moss, Willie, and we got Shalian in the house, and also Arcadian, William, Mysterio, and Tyler. Welcome to the stream, everybody. All right, so there's a few things I wanted to talk about today. First, obviously, it's going to be about the cards themselves, and the second thing is also just some of the improvements that actually have gone into the cards themselves, not for the event, but for the cards. So it's always good to kind of talk about like what's new, what's happening in the game itself, and then we'll talk about the fact that it's another crystal event. So first, let's take a look at the cards that we have, and you shouldn't be surprised, or I guess you should already be somewhat familiar with the mechanics of this deck because it's not new. We actually had this in the Earth Slayer event that happened just not this past one, but the one prior to this, and so it's something that we will be talking about. And also we got Vuja Horatio. Welcome to the stream, and Harry H, Robert Wetstover, and Ronald Burt. Hello, everybody. And so, anyway, like I said, this is a deck mechanic that isn't brand new. And personally, I don't know if I like it very much. So we're going to just jump right in, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. So first of all, this is a fire technological card. So there were, fire tech cards before, so there are relics that you could use, although they're not power gem spawners. So it is, it's a relic that you could use, but it's not going to give you that much more boost. And so we've got Anna and the Reaper as well, and good morning in from Finland, joining us from Finland here. And again, I know that the viewers that join my stream are from all over the world, so I'm really blown away by all that. So I know that we've got people from Brazil, Germany, and looks like Finland. We also obviously have from US as well. If you're from any other place I have not called out, let us know. Let us know where you're from and where you're hailing from. And it's a really, it's a wonderful thing to know that we can all come together and talk about something that we all enjoy. So anyways, so Wesson Hardened Chief. First, and we can also take a look at the cards here. Now, I can't remember the name of the person, but he actually looked like somebody that, that I see from TV and whatnot. It's just, reminds me of somebody. But anyways, so Wesson here, his battle skill creates 5 power gems, and then if Onslaught is active, will create 5 power gem force. And so the number of power gems actually is an increase from the previous one. We can take a look at the card there, but basically before it used to be 4 fire gems, and then it will create 4 power gem force, and now it has increased to 5. So this is a buff compared to the last Earth Slayer. And it also has a passive that neutralizes. Basically, it cleanses 1 debuff from a hero. So if you're hit by Gem Silence, or if you're hit by Toxin, for example, this will actually get neutralized. So that's a nice thing there. And so just taking a look, we got Romania and we got Seattle. That's actually where I'm from, if you guys didn't know that already. And we got California as well. And what Fire Slayer cards are there that we can reforge this event? I'm not sure if there is one this event. And Arcadian, you want a t-shirt? All right, we'll see what we can do there. All right. So yeah, so this card is a good card, but only if you can chain it with a support card or the ultra rare card. And the ultra rare card in this case is the Judicious Enforcers. Now, I actually really like this art. I actually like the art here, and I wish that there was a way for me to zoom in, but I actually really like the way this character is drawn, just personal preference there. So anyways, the ultra rare card here will be a card that gives you a damage reduction. And it's only up to 20% though at maximum skill point. So it's kind of a little bit weaker compared to some of the counterparts that you see in the commander cards where they give you 20% right off the bat without needing skill points. But really, this is the card that gives you two things. It gives you power gem for 2s. So the way this has to work is you have to activate the card and then make sure you do an attack. So it's an on attack type card. And then it will spawn 4 power gem 2s and then apply this status for the next turn so that your master collection card and your event card will be powered by it. And so it's kind of interesting because you're basically spawning power gems in 2 separate turns. Like, you spawn the power gems here and then actually no, that's not correct. You basically will activate and then you will spawn the power gems next turn, and then you activate your master collection card to get the power gems to add to it to add to the total. And so you'll get all of your power gems on the second turn after you activate. It also does have a passive here, so when you when you have 10 or more power gems on the board, then it'll actually increase attack by up to 24%. So again, not a huge amount, but a 24% increase in Slayers is a lot better than a 24% increase in Commanders. So you're gonna notice the damage output a little bit more than you would in Commander. So if you notice in the last Light Commander event, we actually had a card that would boost the attack, but it don't really notice it as much. And so that's just something to keep in mind. And then the support card is the Tech Lieutenant Velda. And I can only see the 5-star version here, but I think the battle skill doesn't really change. So it decreases the amount up to 16%, and so a little bit lower there. And it also applies the onslaught status. And what this does, it will actually create 8 fire gems instead of power gems. So it's the same mechanic. You activate it, do a match, and then it's gonna go ahead and create gems. Personally, I don't really like this type of mechanic because whenever you create a gem first and then you activate the cards that create power gems afterwards, it will override the existing fire gems. So you're losing out the real estate that you can fill up the board with gems, and you're losing potential damage there. So that's why I don't like this kind of mechanic where the gems are created for you. I don't like it when the regular gems are spawned for you instead of having, giving you the choice to spawn it afterwards. So that's my biggest gripe for this kind of deck. And besides that, this doesn't have any other passive abilities, so that is pretty much it. And then if you look at the event card, this is the one where I kind of feel like it's really weak as an event card. So this is the event card Olivia the Oracle. And let's take a look at her art here. So she's got a pretty futuristic car that she's driving here. And if you take a look, what she does is she simply creates 3 fire gems. And if there is onslaught, then she'll create 3 power gems. And it's only power gem once, and there's only 3 of them. She does have only a 1 turn cooldown, so you can treat her like a regular gem spawner. But I've talked about this in the past. It's just like, you might as well give it 4. Might as well give it 4 gems and 4 power gems rather than 3. That's kind of how I feel about it. And so let's see, we got a few people kind of chiming in here. So we got Texas, Maryland, Hong Kong, Las Vegas, Colorado, New York, and Georgia, and Anacortes, Washington. I do know about Anacortes. I actually did visit there. Went up to the Orca Island. It's actually a pretty cool place to go visit. There's a museum there. And we got Bahamas from LeVar Boyd. Nice. Very nice. And we got Atlanta, Georgia from Shellyan. Cool. And so let's see. So this is kind of like the deck itself. Now, what I want to get out, basically get out of the way is, do I think this deck is going to be worth the investment? Given that, one, we're, there's a crystal event format, so should we spend the gems to try and get lucky for the Master Collection card? And my thinking is, it's never a bad thing if you can get a Master Collection hero early on. But is this the deck that is worth investing into tier 7, step 1, step 2? I'm not sure, because ultimately what you're looking for is the ultimate form. So let's take a look at the ultimate form here. Like, what we know is it's a 15 times bonus. You're going to get the most damage out of this team. It is a beast killer. And so Beast Killer is something that will allow you to take care of creatures, which is, for the Golden Trials, we'll take a look there because it is, because it is Quetzalcoatl, which is actually a creature type. And so you'll be able to apply the Beast Killer to that. So this deck will deal that much more damage. You'll be able to take out the Gold Trials a lot easier. So that will be one of the reasons why you would like to get this deck. But there should be other opportunities in the future with Beast Killers that you can use. My personal thinking is that it's not the most sort of must-have deck, but then again, I'm not necessarily knocking it. It's just that I personally don't like the chaining effect of decks. I like decks to be standalone. I kind of like cards to be able to stand on themselves without depending on another card. So that's just me. So what this will do is it will create 5 gems and then, create 5 power gem force instead. And then what it'll do is it'll also give you the damage increase. Then what it will do is it will go ahead and spawn 4 power gem 2s and then apply the onslaught status again. So basically it will create, if you can activate the onslaught first, then what you'll get is basically 5 plus 4, so you get 9 power gems total, and then you can activate your Master Collection card to get the same thing. So then you'll have basically a total of 14 power gems there. So you can get quite a few, plus all of the regular gems that you're gonna create from your support cards. So all in all, I think it's not going to be a bad deck. It'll produce pretty good output. It's just that it's not something that I feel is absolutely necessary. So but I will probably go for the first couple of tiers anyway. And what's nice here is I don't really have to worry about the fact that these are duplicate runes or anything like that. And I do like that they have Bestiarius as one of the collection heroes. So this card is a really good card. It powers up all honor heroes. It will create a battle. It will create a power gem whenever there's a power gem on the board. It will passively create power gems, and it will also increase the honor heroes attack. Like, there is going to be a time when this ability is going to come in really handy. It already is sort of a good card to power up your Water Honored Slayer card. If you remember for the very first Water Slayer team, the next time they come up with a Fire Honored team, you bet this card is going to be super useful. And just saying hi to some new people here, and Noelia, welcome here. And we've got a Nano and a Wayland Cop and Duppy Conqueror here. So welcome. And just we've seen other places as well. So we've got Illinois, and there is a YouTuber by that name. Wait. Yeah, that is me. Okay, so the question here is, should I open packs? And I think the answer is yes, I should. But you can see that I only have 2,000 gems, and I opened up all the packs I could in the last event, and I was down to my last 19 gems. And so I clawed my way back up with some, placements and whatnot. So I got 2,200. That means I can afford up to tier 2. So I'm going to go for it. And if I get lucky, then I will, be very appreciative. I think I got all of my luck from the last event. But let's try it. So let's go and see what we get for the first 2. I mean, it is good investment for dust purposes anyway, especially if I can get more than 1,000 dust. And so the first card here is Blazing Glory. So that was an ultra rare card before. And let's see how much dust there. So this is the minimum. So the minimum that you can get is 800. And to be honest with you, I don't expect to get anything. I'm only going to go up to tier 2. And if I don't get it, I'm not going to be upset. But we'll see. Always hoping for that golden back, of course. But if not, at least I am banking on some dust there. And so I didn't get it this time. It's okay. So we got Neela the Sky, or the Sly, and 1,000 dust. So 1,800 dust. That comes out to, at least 4 runes that you can dust. So, like I said, it's one of those things where if they go back to the dust, to the rune event, then we can at least make use of this. So that's pretty much it. And I think what I want to do is I want to save my my gems for the next set of packs or something. So 2 tiers, nothing there. It's okay. I really didn't expect much there. So, but if you choose to open it, first couple of tiers, maybe tier 3, hopefully you get lucky there. And so what I wanted to show here is, let me just go ahead and delete some cards because I basically need to clear out some cards before I can do anything here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear all of these. And I wanted to talk about the updates to the events. Have you guys noticed that your legends now have been buffed? And this is basically the change that I've been waiting for. And I'm gonna show you how this works. And Queen Fan Fatale, welcome to the stream. Welcome here. Thanks for joining us here. And so basically all your legends now, including ones that are not ascended, are now empowered. So they now deal 10 times damage against Earth enemies, and it also will create 4 fire power gen 1s every 4 turns. Now this only applies to the ascended heroes, ascended legends. If you don't have ascended, it will not have this passive, but it is also going to give you a 300 damage in HP for all fire heroes. So this is a huge change. Before it used to only be 200, and now it's 300. So that means you can now bring in any slayer, any commander, any bounty hunter, and you're going to get the same kind of bonus that you get in the events themselves. And the battle in the passive skill, it might seem to be not that great at first, but if you have a few of these, like I've built up here, I'm going to show you what I did here. I was actually trying something there, but I'm going to go ahead and do a quick fight here just to kind of show you how this kind of works. And I'm going to bring in Quildrak there. And I'm going to change this to a dragon. I was actually trying a GVG with this particular deck here. So let's go ahead and put in a dragon relic in here. And actually, I'm going to put in another fire relic. Or I don't need to. I think that's okay. So I'm gonna go and do a quick fight here, and I'm gonna show you why this is amazing. So if you have legend cards now, what you can do is we can go into a campaign here. I'm gonna just go ahead and farm 718. This is where you can potentially get tier shard. And let's see, do I have any allies who are using legend cards? So let's take a look. So type is going to be legend, and I do. So we can go ahead and use Falconer. So basically I have a team with 4 legends here, and I also have with it Quildrak, and I've also put in here the Baleful Bride. So take a look at turn 1 here. So basically with this particular setup, before I even get to my relics, I pretty much already have my board full. And this is basically, full of power gems, and, this is turn 1. This is before you get anything. And now remember, one of the things I've always talked about is the importance of building a turn 1 deck. So now this is a turn 1 deck that can deal a ton of damage without actually losing a turn. So that means like you can actually attack, and if it deals enough damage, you can actually get MVP or the 15% over sort of threshold without losing that to the next person's attack. Like we all know what happens like when you do a general attack, and then like you wait for your battle skill to build up, and then somebody comes in and takes out that boss. Well, with a turn 1 deck like this, you're not gonna have that. You're going to be guaranteed to secure at least a 15% if you can deal good enough damage, or you might be able to just outright take it out with MVP. Even if somebody else is in the fight before you and they manage to take the boss out before you do, if you can deal enough damage, you can get that 15%, get your key back, and get your participation and all that. So a turn 1 deck is super important. And just the way this particular deck is set up, every 4 turns, I also happen to have all of my basically power gems sort of lined up. So this is pretty insane, right? And so this is just kind of like, a fun way to play the deck. I've waited forever to build up a team like this. I've got 3 ascended right now. I've got 5 rays, 2 of them are unascended, and I'm going to be working really hard to get the other 2 ascended as well. So now there's a reason to do so. So I just wanted to make sure I talk about that. And so what about the relics? One of the things I called out there is that the relics seems to not have been updated just yet. And so they still talk about having a legend intensity. It's no longer applicable. Like they've taken out legend intensity for the legends now. So it doesn't really make sense to have them anymore. But these legend relics are still really good. Unfortunately, I can't enchant the staff, so you can see here I'm missing this one jewel. But basically, this once you can actually enchant it, it gives you additional gems every time you, every time you create a gem, you'll create one more, and it will also give you a lot more damage boost. Okay, so Ray's attack will be increased by 112%. So this is now applied to the 10 times bonus against Earth enemies. And we are now, basically reaching this point where they are going to deal a ton of damage now. So I'm really looking forward to building a team using Ray. And by the way, you can also take a look at the 3 pink star ascended staff, and this will actually do pretty much the same thing. Wait. So this actually, I don't think they've applied this correctly. So I'm looking at the 3 pink stars. It goes down to 50%, so that looks wrong. But what they have here is it will also double the starting skill point of your fire relic. It doesn't seem to be that great. I think they are probably still changing it up a little bit because it just doesn't look that much better. But if you take a look at the one star, this is the one that it will increase by 112. So I don't know what's going on there, but I think it's definitely worth going after it. So again, Legend Relics plus your Legends now is going to be a really good investment. And I'm gonna go ahead and clear my cards again because the next thing I want to do is I'm just gonna go and clear out some. I'm gonna go and clear some Heavenly Spire as well. And so taking a look at the chat here, so it's only level 1, that's why. So, that's a good point. So I guess when I took a look at the 2 and the 3 pink stars, they weren't showing the stats at a higher level. So that makes sense. And let's go ahead and clear this out as well. Now, what I used to do, if you're a newer player, what I'm doing here is I'm basically selling these 1-star, 2-star cards. But when I was starting out, I would actually use those cards to power up my other cards. And I just didn't do it this time. But, if you're starting out, you don't have a lot of potions and you're trying to, level up your characters, use all 1-star and 2-star cards. Don't sell them for gold unless you're really short on them. They will be better off, powering your cards. Like it'll be equivalent to a couple, potions or a potion or 2 if you can use some of those really low level ones. It's just, little things that can help you along the way. So, looking at the chat here, let me know if there's something you wanted to talk about as well, and definitely will be happy to engage in a conversation. Right now, I really wanted to cover a few talking points. One is, what do I think about the deck? What do I think about, the investment there? I'm going to open a couple of tiers that I didn't get anything there. I'm going to do a Spire, and then we're going to go back and we're going to have a conversation about crystal events plus quests. I have a lot of thoughts about them. This is something I wanted to talk about. Like as we get into the event, I think we should talk about what we think. What can we do, and what's the strategy around it, and just kind of just overall, how can we make sure that we don't actually just completely lose it during the event like I did. I got so burnt out from the event, and I'm gonna talk about what I'm going to do to prevent that. All right, so I'm currently at basically 4th tower floor 46, and this one has allowed types of corrupt and also fable and human, and so I chose to go with an all-human team. This is probably something that some of you might be able to get just because Oglyph was a card that was available. So we're gonna go and take a look and see what we can get here. So Heavenly Spire is one of those, honestly, like if you have a generation 3 card for that particular floor, you should be able to get through it no problem. The ones that are going to be the most challenging, and I'll show you a little bit, is going to be one that still hasn't had a generation 3 events yet, and one that is just where the cards are really weak still, and they just don't have the kind of power that you need to get through. So there was actually one floor that I lost a key on, and I needed to go back and do it again. And so this has a regenerative counter heal Aegis, but that's okay. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do one of these. I might even be able to take her out with my nuke. I'm not sure, but at least I'll get close. And so I think with this, I'll just be able to use my battle skill. So this is one of my favorite decks for a very long time. The Oglyph, Gadrid, or Sang deck. It's just, really amazing, and Wella gives you a revive as well. So this is going to be, just a great deck to invest in. And let's see what Slayer card we get. So I actually also really like, going after the Spire for dust. Like basically I get a card and I dust it. There's also gems that are available for you, and well, let's see. So I'm gonna wait for this one, but basically what I wanted to show you is the floor that I had the most difficulty with. I believe it was a dark one. Was it 41 or 40 or 39? So this is the one I had a really hard time with. The Heavenly Spire Tower 4, floor 39 with Dark Human, Dark Tech, and Dark Spirit. I didn't have very good cards there, and so I had to really sort of mix and match. And this is one where I brought in a card that I couldn't actually use and built up the power gems in order to take it down. And so I couldn't show you anymore because it won't let me go because it's completed, but you kind of get the drift. And so the question here, did I get all the rewards in the last event? I did not. I can show you what I got though. So if you take a look at the end of time, and this is, keep in mind, we all got 1,200 quest points at the very end because they calculated, and we were getting less daily points than we were supposed to. And so if you take a look at the quest, this is including the 1,200 that we got. Obviously I only got the 3 Fates and Janice. I didn't even go after the relic because I ran out of gems. I had 19 gems. So I still haven't gotten it. I'm still deciding whether or not to spend the 700 remaining gems on it. I might actually just skip it. And so you can see here, although I will get 75, I think I'll get 75 trophies, 75 gems based on this particular event here. We'll see. But basically, couldn't get through the last one of any of them. And I got to the last one. Secret and Ultimate and Punishers were the ones I missed out on. And then rewards wise, I couldn't get the last two. So I couldn't get the last Light Master Dust, and I couldn't get the Bastion Shards. I managed to get up to 8,300, but I actually stopped at 7,100. Basically, after I got the Titan Shield, I was like, I'm done. I couldn't go after the Ultra Rune and also the Master Collection Rune just because I was so burnt out. And this is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. Just like, how were you guys after the event? I was super burnt out just because I was going as hard as I could. I actually spent the entire Sunday afternoon, one keying all bosses, and I spent about 120 keys or so just going nonstop. And after that, I went to take a nap, and then when I woke up, I said, I think I'm done for the event, and that's basically where I ended up. So judge of all, I don't think, I can't say, I hope not. I was surprised, to be honest, that we actually had 2 back-to-back crystal events. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if they end up going that direction, because I think the intent here is they don't want to, they want to make it simplified in a way that guarantees people the ability to get runes, not runes, but cards, increase the sort of the feeling, the nice feeling of getting a Master Collection card early from pack opening. And, you don't get these duplicates. I think one of the biggest drawback of the rune system, we all know, is when you get a ton of duplicates, it really sucks. But what it doesn't account for is when you have a bunch of dust saved up, it's okay if you get rune duplicates. And so that's where the balance is. And I think really ultimately the problem I have with crystal events, it's not so much that it's dust. Like, I actually think it's kind of nice that it's dust and we have the chance to pull ultra rare cards and Master Collection cards. I think the problem I have with is the fact that when you try to craft a card, you have to spend 16.8 thousand dust. And, that comes out to at least 5 events if you don't buy packs and you just collect everything. That is if you collect everything, right? And we all know with the quest system, we can't collect everything unless we really go all out. And so I think that's where the balance is breaking apart for me. If we collected everything like we did before, we would be able to get everything, and that would mean 5 events and we'll get a guaranteed ultra rare and Master Collection card. For a completely free to play player, I think that's not a bad deal. It takes a bit of time, but it's something that you can get with a little bit of effort, and it's just time. But with the quest system introduced and making it really hard and having such a high cost, it's going to be much longer than 5 events. Like, I played so hard and I just barely missed the last two. Like, I couldn't get the last two. And so somebody who gets halfway through the collection because of the quest and stuff like that, that's going to be 10 events. 10 events, that's 50 weeks. 50 weeks before you can get a guaranteed card, and that is a lot slower than what we're used to, even if we get the rune system. And so this is where I think that tweak needs to happen. And if they want to get the crystal events to be the thing, I'm okay with it as long as they fix the number of dust that we get, or the cost of the dust, or something, right? Something has to be done to make it easier for us to get more, and it needs to cost less, so that we can actually get something, hopefully in 3 events, not 5, not 7, hopefully 3. And I don't want to have to kill myself. I shouldn't have said that. I don't want to have to really, push myself so hard that I don't feel like picking up the phone to play the game after, a couple of days. I want to enjoy the event, and I needed actually a 2-day break from the game to come back to this. And so this is the truth. It is real. The grind is really a big deal here. And so this is the feedback that I have been giving as well. And I know that everybody's giving their feedback in the forums and everything. I'm hoping that they understand and recognize this. And also, the problem here is, even if we don't go after the quest, like if we don't go after quest, if we didn't care about the dust and whatnot, I personally started feeling like I don't really care about the dust anymore. The problem is everything else, like all the rewards they can get and things like that, it just wasn't quite worth the effort. So I think if they also increase and improve the effort, sort of the rewards they can get everywhere else, that might make up for it. And ultimately, like things like making the legend cards so much better than it has been is a step in the right direction for me. Like if they start, reforging other cards and doing other things to make it so that even if we don't get the Master Collection card, we can use historical heroes, like, the cards that we do have, and we can compete for good, awesome rewards. So then it's not a big deal if we don't get a Master Collection card. Then that might be okay. As it stands right now, they've sort of, I don't think it's intentional, but the reality is, at this point, the way the events have been set up, finishing the quest and getting the ultimate form has become the only reason to play these events. And I don't think that should be the case. I don't think you should really be only playing the event just for the ultimate form. You should be playing the event because it's fun, because you can get something at the end of it. Like, there is something to be said about getting good rewards for the effort you put in. And right now, with the quest and the fact that the crystal, events with such a high dust cost, neither of those things are happening. And so I hope that they tweak it some more. I'm hoping, beyond hope, that they tweak it. But if they don't, for this particular event, my personal strategy is I'm still going to play, but I'm not going to play as hard as I did in the last layer. I played super hard at last layers, and I'm probably not going to do it. I'm just going to do this for fun. I'm going to explore using my legend deck for a lot of different deck ideas, and that's what I'm going to focus on next time. Just something to do to give us some good damage, be able to compete against Radiants and Kobolds, and just have fun. And I think they've sort of made it so that Slayers is now actually a little bit more fun for me than Commanders, to be honest with you, which is interesting because I actually like Commanders a lot more. All right, let's see what are people saying here. So Con William Deep, yes, and I believe our Arcadian actually said I wanted a t-shirt. So I think if you guys really like the design, that's something I can try and do for one of the future streams potentially. I did do a t-shirt giveaway, and that was from Network. This is just one. This is the only one. This is the one that my brother-in-law made for me. I love this shirt, and so probably make a few more. I think that can be arranged. And so Mr. Hawklands got bored after a few hours. Preferred it back in the 2.0 days. I think there's still goodness there. It's just that I got burnt out by Sunday, and so I just need to spread out a little bit and spend a little bit less time, but still be able to play and compete. I think the competition. I want the spirit of the competition to come back and not feel like the only thing I'm doing this event for is the collection. That's never been the case, and so that's kind of changed, and I don't think that's really what they intended. And so I'm hoping that they could change that as well. And so myself and 1100 got the 3 Fates card, was super disappointed with the whole event and reached 4100. So that's what I mean. Like if you get 4100 event rewards, what do you get? What basically, let's see where that gets you, right? And so we sort of need to think about like what the average player is able to get to, and not sort of like the top tier players who can get everything, what they're able to get. So if we're talking about like 4100, we are basically just at the point where we can get some like ultra rare dust. And if you're a VIP, you're getting some extras, so that is a nice bonus. But we're missing out on some ascension stones. We're missing out on the summoning coins, and then there's also additional wardens and 600 dust here. So like more things. But then again, for me, at some point, it basically just got to a point where dust just became a number to me. It no longer mattered to me as much as I thought it did, and so it didn't really quite trigger me as much. Whereas when it first started, I was trying to get every single dust I could, but then I thought, I'm okay letting it go. So that's just kind of how I feel. And obviously that's not a great feeling, and that's really not the whole thing about this event, and I still really enjoy playing it. And so I hope that we could come together, talk about different ways to enjoy the game in a different way, and also just have fun. That's really what this is all about. And so Thursday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on just fun builds. I'm not necessarily going to just do the best build. So just keep in mind for anybody who's going to be joining the stream, I'm going to show some fun decks just for fun. It's not necessarily going to be the best, but I'm going to explore mechanics. I'm going to explore like different things that I haven't thought about, and I'm going to showcase those. And if you're having a really hard time with the event and there are some things that you're looking for, maybe we can do some of that. And again, I do have the list of people that wanted to do deck building. We can definitely do that. I kind of feel that commander events have more of the requirement to get the best output damage deck because of all the overkill requirements, and trying to get the ultra kill, overkill, and also getting Punisher and all those things. I feel like that is probably where I could really provide more help. Whereas for Slayers, I think once you can get some decent deck, even if you're just, getting 15%, I think it's probably okay. So we'll focus more on the fun aspect of it. And let's take a look and see what else we're talking about here. And we see some new people again. Sorry, if I didn't introduce you guys and say hi. So I'm seeing some new names. So Colette here, welcome. And I think that's what I see here. Yeah, so let's see what you guys are saying. Paul Hicks, I'm glad I didn't dust my Ray cards. Yes, that's right. I went after Ray when I first started. So when I first started, that was the card that I picked over 2 years ago. If you want to take a look, you can see how long I've been in the game for now. And I think I'm at 999 days in game, everybody. So good timing. If this was tomorrow, you would have seen me hit 1,000. So I'm currently at 999 days in the game since I first started, and I got Ray as my first card. Since then, I've always had the stream of getting all 5 Rays, and I do have all 5 of her. And so the next goal was to get all 5 of them ascended, or yes, to get ascended. And so I am 3/5 way there, and I'm just hoping for the last 2 to get up there as well, and I'll be really happy. So that's sort of my goal here. And let's see. So everybody kind of feels that it's too grinding. Has anybody but I want to make sure that I'm also capturing, thoughts and, opinions of other people. I know that there are some of you who also enjoyed it, and that's a great thing. So I want to hear feedback, like whether you liked it or you didn't like it, just let me know. Let us know like what you thought about the event. And again, this is, I always preach for, respect of different opinions. Everybody plays their game differently, and they all enjoy their events differently. And so if you liked it, that's awesome. I want to hear more about what you thought, what did you do, and what was the most important thing for you. And I would love to hear those feedback. Different perspectives are always great. What did you like the most? What was the thing that really stood out for you, and what do you want to see more of? I think these are the kind of feedback that's also very important. Like when we focus on like how to do things differently, we can also sort of flip around and sort of say, hey, this has been really awesome. How do we do more of that? And then if we can sort of combine the two, that's when we can get some really good changes. So let me know either in the chat or in the comments later on in the videos. Just whatever your thoughts are, what you think, what you love, what you didn't love, all of these things. I'd love to hear more about those. And so, Debbie, they've created an unsustainable inflation rate in the imaginary economy while simultaneously starving us of the game revenue sources. So yeah, so I think I don't feel the pink dust shortage as much just because I have other ways where I'm playing through and I am dusting all of these cards, and so I'm doing okay personally. But I think that I can understand for new players who need to sort of build up their collection. I can totally understand that. So things that I would say is don't waste your honor on the honor XP pack if you're new. Don't waste your honor points on those, and just make sure you put in the right hero and get your guildmates to help. Basically do put them out on runs. When was the last time any of you guys actually went down and did these? Right, scavenge and scavenge and scavenge. So this is one of the strategies that we used to employ with me and my guildmates. We kind of are a little bit lazy about it now, but this is also another way to get some good honor points there. And let's see. So what do I expect from trial and challenge bosses? And so here's the thing, right? I have a lot of coins here for Quetzalcoatl. I'm gonna go ahead and summon it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a team right now. And I might actually just use my Ascended Legends team just to see what it's like. Because I'm getting heal from Baleful Bride. And so we'll see what we do. Okay, so there's a lot of chatter here. Sorry, I'm talking too much there. So Carius, have a less than 100 dust. You need to build it up a little bit more. All right, let's go and play. And let's see. So W Conqueror, check. What am I checking for? Let me know. So let's go and take a look. And I mean, I don't expect there to be a ton of damage actually, but I don't know. Like, I think what I should do is I should actually change my relic a little bit. And so I'm going to switch this one out and I'm going to put in my other raid just because it's a scaling relic, right? So I'm getting scaling damage output. So that might actually help a lot. And I got 3 of those here, and so let's just try this. Let's just play and see how it goes. We'll manage team here. Let's go ahead and take it out. And I'm probably not going to spend all the time in here taking out. But if this is successful, then now we have another avenue to really do well against the legend bosses. So that's going to be really great. And let's see. So level 11 Quetzalcoatl. I haven't fought him in a while just because I got the cudgel for it. But let's see how we do. But the first thing we need to do is obviously get past the 50 armor. Unfortunately, Ray will not take down the armor of Quetzalcoatl. It'll only take down the armor of the tree. And so that is something that is still only reserved for the Generation 2 Legends. And so the lag, unfortunately, is going to make this a little bit slower. So I'm going to try and do this quick. I just want to get a couple of the damage output there just to see what it's like, right? And so I think timing wise, every two turns, I'm getting some power gems from my Baleful Bride, and then every 4 gems, I'm getting the power gems from Ray, and every 3 turns, I'm getting power gems from Quildrak. And so there's going to be a lot of power gems to keep track of here. And also the way that Quetzalcoatl works is you're going to have to watch out for the 7 turns. Every 7 turns, it actually has invulnerability. And so it's got quite a bit of things going on here, but there's always going to be no shortage of gems, which is really nice. And so this is one of those things where, like, new mechanics, something that's introduced, and let's see how much I can get heal. So I can actually heal for a pretty good amount here, so I'm not going to worry about dying here. So this is probably going to be a relatively viable deck. And so Judge of All, yes, you can use more than one legend relic. You'll still get the damage boost, but you're not going to get some of the very sort of the special things. So we can take a look at like things that are unique. And so I think Ray will get only the single buff that is scaling, but there is the flat health as well as damage output that can be stacked. All right, so let's see. I might actually wait a little bit, and then I'm going to apply the battle skill of Quilldrak and see. Yeah, I'm playing a little slow right now. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to play this. But basically, I'm waiting for everything to spawn. And there you go. And let's see. So let's go ahead and first give us attack boost. And then give Quilldrak attack boost. And also give myself a little heal. And then let's see what happens with our damage output here. Like it might be very low. I'm not sure. So it's not too bad actually. So it's 30 billion for the 3 rays combined. So it's not huge because there's no real scaling, but it's a lot better than it was before. And obviously, with this amount of damage, it's not going to be quite sufficient for it. So I'm just gonna wait one more turn and see if it makes a difference again, because I wanted to see how. I don't have the dragon intensity really high. If it was a little higher, maybe it could also deal some good damage there. But I'll have to use different relics. Right? So I'm gonna do it one more time. So the 145, million. It's not too bad. So we're gonna go ahead and just do one more attack here. This is not gonna be as great. So sort of just wanted to test it out. It's not quite viable as I sort of put out there. So unfortunately, that's not the case. But I think if we put in the Piggy's deck with this, that might work. I don't know. It's just another option there. Basically, you treat this as another legend, sort of Generation 3 card, and use your favorite deck, but it opened up a lot more opportunities. So it might not be the greatest for Legend Trials, but I think we can at least try out. And the nice thing is you can use Ray to power up any card that you bring in here, whether it's a Slayer or Commander. And so Arcadian, you're right. Dragon Intensity is going to be key here, and so I will need to. I'm gonna have to tweak this a little bit, and if I can find a good recipe, then I'll share that. So let's see. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover here, and I'm not sure what the quest is gonna be like. Again, I hope that it's gonna. So the thing I wanted to sign off with is let's try to focus on having fun here and don't waste all of your gems on this particular deck. I think that there's better ones out there. Personally, not my favorite mechanic, but I think at least, the support card does give you a nice 8 gems. But the rest of them is kind of, if I get them, I get them. But like you saw there, I didn't get them in the first 2 tiers, so I'm giving up on that. I'm just going to build other decks that is not going to use these event cards, and we'll see what happens there. And don't forget to don't dust your legends and try to get them ascend if you can. And if there's anything else you wanted to talk about, I'm always ready on my network app. You can always reach out to me. So again, I think that's pretty much it for this event. What I'm looking forward to is, the tweaks that they're gonna make. I'm not really excited about the quest system if it's gonna just be really, really, really tiring. So I'm definitely going to take measures against that. And we will come back and we'll talk on Thursday. We'll take a look at some of the decks I'm coming up with, and I would love to see your decks. So for next Thursday, try to let me know what decks you're building and what are you playing with and what is your cool idea. I would love to feature some of those as well, and we can just get together, have fun, and focus on that aspect. So that's all for today. Thanks everybody for joining me again for the stream. Looking forward to seeing and talking to all of you. And again, so saying hi to everybody here, signing off here. Me, myself, and 1100's first live stream. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, everybody, signing off for now, and we will talk to you soon. Again, let me know down in the comments after this video is live on just what you thought. Any opinion is great, and we can talk more about it. Use that as feedback for future improvements. All right, thanks. Have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys may be, and take care. See ya.